To this now, Basic Education Minister Angie Motshekga says her department is confident in its readiness to administer this year's Matric examinations. Motshekga was speaking at the department's media briefing in Johannesburg on Sunday. The 2022 Matric class was hardest hit by the COVID-19 pandemic as they started dealing with its impact in grade 10. Now let's discuss this. We're now joined via Teams by Deputy Chairperson of the Education for Social Justice Foundation, Hendrick Makaneta. Of course, Mr. Makaneta, that is the 2023 matriculants who were hardest hit by the COVID-19 pandemic, because they are the ones that actually started dealing with this impact very much so in grade 10. How do you see them faring and performing in this, in this year?
Well, I think that it will depend on the wide range of preparations that have been made by various provinces. We have seen in many provinces such as Gauteng and Free State, there was a lot of intensive work during which the matriculants were taken through extra classes on Saturdays and sometimes on Sundays. And of course, there is no doubt that COVID-19 resulted in a delay in completing some of the topics in grade 10. You will recall that during that time, the annual teaching plan had to be revised, and as such, some of the topics were removed from the ATP, and it is true that learners had to work even to double their effort, unlike the matriculants that we saw just before COVID-19 hit the country in 2020. But I think that over and above what I've said, the schools that are found in your suburbs, particularly private schools, are doing very well. The only challenge that we have is in township schools, as well as some of the rural communities where there was no movement, during COVID, because the learners never had access to gadgets and so on. So the performance may increase, but it will be a slight increase and not a major one.
So we know for this year, that 723,000, candidates from the class of 2023 were registered to write the National Senior Certificate examinations, and of course, 6,800 centres across the country. The minister seems to be very confident, of course, that her department will execute these examinations well. What are your prospects?
Well, I think that the minister is correct. If you look at the plans that they've put in place, especially, to combat even the problems of cheating within the various centers, I noticed that for the first time this year, the department has introduced even scanners. So learners, before they can go into an examination center, they are scanned for gadgets such as cell phones or any other, device that they may fraudulently take into the examination center. And I can say without doubt that with the preparation that government has put in place, in particular the minister, we are likely to see less problems in relation to cheating, and therefore, this year's examination results will definitely be credible, taking into cognizance the preparedness of both, the state as well as the learners themselves.
Of course, we know, the Department of Education is still plagued by infrastructure backlog. It also has overcrowding and a shortage of educational resources. The department, we understand, has now implemented and developed a detailed tracking tool, and monitoring was also taking place. To what extent do you think that this will, decrease the challenges that the Education Department is currently experiencing in thousands of schools across the country?
Well, certainly the department has done very well to develop tracking tools to make sure that our resources are safeguarded. And it is true that for a long time, the department has faced a wide range of challenges in relation to, material that they dispatch from time to time to learners. And at the end of the year, you find that this material, such as textbooks or any other, device, are not able to come back to the system. And hence, every year, the department has to spend even a bigger chunk, of money to try and buy, textbooks as well as, any other material that learners need. In some cases, especially in our township schools, issues of vandalism as well have crept into the terrain of education, whereby some of these devices got lost and so on. But I think that the department alone or government alone may not be able to fully resolve some of these questions. Hence, there is a need for greater collaboration with parents and communities to make sure that a conducive environment for learning and teaching is created, with a view to ensure that our learners are able to create a future for themselves. So we need to, as civil society, back a government, assist government wherever we can to make sure that our education is not only qualitative, but also prepares our learners for battles that lie ahead.
Mr. Makaneta, let's leave it there for now. Thank you so much for your time this afternoon. Really do appreciate it. That's the Deputy Chairperson of the Education for Social Justice Foundation.